morning.
Good morning.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone here.
I am Randall Slayton, your celebration leader this morning. We welcome all of you and those joining us from home to Unity of Northwest Indiana. You are here by divine appointment. Unity is a global, inclusive, spiritual community. We offer practical, uplifting resources to help people of all faith apply positive spiritual principles in their lives. Our philosophy of love, acceptance, and peace is based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer.
Good morning. And we are celebrating mothers all over the world today, whether you have had children or not. And the reason I say that is because if we think of it in an expanded spiritual sense, motherhood is a spiritual idea of the divine feminine within us. We have both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And some of you are mothers to children. Some of you are a mothering influence on other children, other people's children. My neighbor kids next door call me their second mom. I'm just glad they don't call me grandma yet. You could be a mother to pets, right? And the spiritual idea of motherhood is that we are always receiving divine ideas from the Christ within, and we are giving birth to divine ideas. I have a quote from Charles Fillmore. His spiritual definition of motherhood was the nourishing element of divine mind, or God, in which spiritual ideas are brought to fruition. So we're always birthing new ideas, right? Through the Christ within. And I just want to take a moment and acknowledge that we have an all mothers group here at Unity, thanks to Keela Parkinson, who founded that and started that and nurtures and fosters that all the time. It's a Facebook group. Yes. It's a Facebook group, but they've also gotten together for different play dates and things, and it's a wonderful group, so thank you for that, Keela. Okay, so we're going to start with our singing bowl. Oh, and I want to thank the men's group. Thank you for the beautiful flowers. If you haven't picked up your flower, your rose, you can pick one up on your way out, and they gave me the beautiful corsage, and I just love that they nurture us and celebrate Mother's Day. All right, so let's take a deep breath. And as we hear the sound of the singing bowl, let it be that vibration of spirit, of energy in you. And as it fills this room, we attune to that one presence and one power, the source of divine ideas, the source of love and wholeness. And as it fills this room, that energy continues to reverberate within us, this room, and far from these walls, as we send out that mothering love to all.
And let us stand and sing our opening song that can be found up on the screen. Morning Has Broken.
We focus our energy on a powerful vision we hold as truth for our world. So together we proclaim our vision for the world.
Centered in God, we celebrate a world of love, peace, and abundance for all creation.
And we affirm with mind, heart, and spirit our mission as Unity of Northwest Indiana.
We are a dynamic spiritual community expressing universal principles and empowering transformation.
And we proclaim our building our dream prayer with zeal.
Centered in God, we affirm the success, prosperity, and growth of Unity of Northwest Indiana.
Our unity principle today is number 4. Prayer and meditation keep us aligned with the one great power of the universe. Please be seated. The daily word for today, Sunday, May 12, 2024. Mother's Blessing. I honor honor and bless the world's mothers. Today, I offer a blessing of gratitude for the loving, nurturing spirit of mothers. I bless my mother and those who have shared a mother's love by supporting me throughout my life. I think of the many ways they have been present for me over the years with unconditional acceptance and love. I envision all the mothers, grandmothers, and caregivers throughout the world surrounded by love and light. For those in my life, I take time to express my appreciation with words, gifts, and time together. To mothers-to-be, I prayerfully affirm health and ever-deepening joy. To mothers no longer in the world, I hold them in loving prayer and hold thoughts of joy and gratitude. I bless their souls' ongoing journey, knowing bonds of love keep their memories alive. And from Proverbs 31:28, her children rise up and call her happy.
Let those beautiful words continue to resound within us, giving thanks for the power of beautiful motherly love. As we move into meditation, we are attuning that divine power of intuition. We know mothers have that amazing intuition. Their minds and hearts are so much on their children. that they can sense things in the invisible realm. They know their children's hearts and minds. And we can bring to mind anyone we see as our mother or a mother figure in our lives, or whenever we have felt the presence of unconditional love. A mother's love is that divine light shining in your life, shining in their heart, surrounding you, filling your life. And you have that same love within you. You may want to bring to mind someone you love in a motherly way, in a way that is nourishing and nurturing. And as we breathe and relax even deeper, we move into the stillness and the silence, attuning to our own love and intuition, God within us as the Divine Mother.
good news for today is taken from Myrtle Fillmore in Daily Word. The mother of unity, Myrtle Fillmore, wrote, "It is my great joy to perceive the mother side of God, the divine love that never fails." Myrtle expressed this mother side of God, the divine feminine, by praying for others, writing to those in need of spiritual wisdom, and assuring those that came to her that when they placed their desires with God, they need not be anxious or worried. And from Abraham Lincoln, "All that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother." Lincoln's mother died when he was just 9 years old. And from Maya Angelou, "To describe my mother would be to write about a hurricane in its perfect power or the climbing, falling colors of a rainbow." And from the poet Rumi, "We are born to love, love is our mother." And this is proclaimed in the spirit of truth and love. Amen.
Thank you, Randy. I want to acknowledge that beautiful meditation song that Arthur wrote. It was gorgeous. It sounded like a lullaby. It was just beautiful.
I didn't write the music.
I know. Well, I know, but we are one, right? So he wrote it. Since I'm talking about a more expanded viewpoint of motherhood than just giving physical birth to children, I wanted to talk about our spiritual mother, Myrtle Fillmore, and her life and her ups and downs and the contribution she made to the world through being a co-founder with Charles Fillmore of Unity. And so Myrtle Page was born in 1845 in Ohio, and she grew up in a very traditional Christian home, but she questioned the beliefs that she was taught in terms of God, because she had, as she grew up, she saw God everywhere, and she particularly felt the presence of God in nature. And she would say that she would go out in nature and sense divine intelligence in everything that God created. So Myrtle Fillmore, though she had a great upbringing, a wonderful, solid upbringing and loving parents, was told from a young age that she had inherited tuberculosis. Many of you know this story, and that tuberculosis was a very potentially deadly respiratory illness, and that she would be weak and sick her whole life, and she'd probably die young. And so can you imagine being kind of hardwired from a young age that this is your lot in life, this is the life you're going to have. It's going to be a struggle. You're always going to be weak and sick. And so, like any child, they don't question their parents. They just take it in and believe it in some of the things they say. And her parents were told this, and they believed it. So she went, despite this sentence, she lived her life as fully as she could. And as she grew older, she went to Oberlin College, and she became a teacher, which for that time period, a woman to have a college education was pretty unusual. And she loved teaching, and she taught in Ohio for 9 years, and then she went to Texas for treatment because the air was warmer climate, drier air. So she went to Texas for treatment. And it's interesting how God works in our lives, because she went there for one reason, and then she came away with the bonus of meeting Charles Fillmore, meeting her future husband. And she eventually went back to Ohio, and they corresponded by letters for a while, and then they ended up getting married. Now, Charles and Myrtle were pretty unconventional in that she was 36 years old when they got married. About 17, 18 years older than most women at that time who were getting married at 18, 19, 20. They were unconventional in the sense that she was 9 years older than Charles. So she lived her life the way she wanted to in terms of getting married when she did and having children. And being 9 years older. And then they ended up she started at 37 having children and have had children into her 40s. And you'll hear later about her energy. So she had 3 boys, Lowell, Rickard, and Royal. And she loved teaching. She loved being a mother. Pull it away. Thank you. It was reverberating. Olivia put on my corsage. Arthur told me to pull. I get by with a little help from my friends. So Myrtle dealing with her illness, and Charles, who also had an illness, a health situation from childhood, were both seeking something. Now, they lived a normal life in some ways. He was in real estate. They had their ups and downs financially, raising children, all that comes with that. You know, they lived a normal life in a sense and had struggles like we do. But they were seeking healing of some sort. So they both had open minds and believed that no matter what they were told, they could search for a way to heal, that they had some kind of faith that they could be healed. And we know that the story that they went to go hear a series of lectures by Dr. Eugene Weeks. He was from the Illinois Metaphysical College, and he was speaking in the Kansas City area. And they heard they went for a lecture one night, and Myrtle heard it and really took it in. The famous words, does anybody know what the iconic words that she heard?
I'm a child of God, and I do not inherit.
Exactly. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit illness. I am a child of God, and I do not inherit illness. Now, you can imagine how this kind of went with her belief system that she had inherited illness, and that she was, kind of doomed in that way, or would always be struggling. And to hear something like radically different, like, no, my identity is a child of God. Yes, we have earthly parents, but our true identity is we are sons and daughters of God, and we don't inherit illness in a spiritual sense in that way. And so she took this idea, and her life didn't change overnight, but she began to put her mind on this idea, and she talked about having to do this repeatedly and radically change her thought process. And she later emphasized the idea that we need to think about what we want to see manifest in our lives to come about, not what necessarily we've been told or not the present experience. We have to transcend that and put our mind on what Paul said was, he said, think on these things, whatever is true, whatever is beautiful, whatever is just, whatever is good, think on these things. So she began to pray. They said, you know the story about how she had an empty chair across from her, and she would imagine Jesus was there, using the power of imagination and prayer, and she would imagine that she was moving into Christ consciousness, and then she began to bless and heal and forgive her body. To bless and forgive her body. In fact, she went through every part of her body, organs, everything, and blessed and apologized to her body for believing what she had believed previously. And she began to know that she was God's daughter and that she had the possibility of healing and wholeness. And over 2 years, this took place, and Charles was watching what Myrtle was doing, and he was very open-minded as well. And that's why I say they were unconventional, because not only their relationship, but they really treated each other as equals. And they saw the good in each other, the best and the talents, and they supported that. They didn't hold each other in the role of traditional husband and wife. They saw each other as equal spiritual beings. So she was an inspiration to Charles because he began to see what she was doing. And I like to say, he said, I'll have what she's having. And he began to see she was praying, she was believing, she was putting her mind on what she wanted, which was health and wholeness. And he began to do the same. Now, Myrtle became a master of prayer and meditation. And I think Charles more went into the meditative side and the stillness. And they both had incredible results with health and healing. And Myrtle, people and her friends and neighbors began to go to Myrtle for prayer. And they too said, I'll have what she's having. They wondered, how did she transform from this weak and sickly person to this vibrantly alive, healthy person that wasn't dealing with illness anymore? And so she prayed with them, and then they joined together and prayed what they call absent healing. They would get together every night and invite anybody who wanted to be part of that, whether they lived in the area or not, and they would hold the consciousness of healing and health and wholeness. And of course, they experienced more of it, and people around them that they prayed for their lives were transformed, and they began to heal. So this was the start of the Unity movement. And those words, I am a child of God, helped her change her identity. And so she was working with her core idea of her identity, that she was a divine child and that healing was always possible. And she also put her mind on God and on the present moment. She didn't go back into, well, I'm going to blame my parents for the messages they gave me. And she didn't go into the future, will this last? She stayed in the present moment and knew that God was present within her and within all. So Myrtle, one of the gifts that Myrtle gave to Unity is she really felt and wanted people to have practical spiritual ideas, not lofty ideas that they couldn't use, but ideas they could take home and actually use. And so she was a real proponent of spiritual practices. She said, we have to give people spiritual practices, things they can do in their daily lives that will make the transformation that they want. So some of the spiritual practices that Myrtle utilized and taught was disciplining the mind, putting our focus on the good, on the positive, no matter how much negativity has been there, to when that negativity comes up, to turn it towards good. Gratitude is one way we do that, or seeing the good. Affirmation, she's a big proponent of affirming the truth, affirming positive ideas, affirming divine ideas. Imagination, she used her imagination when she was imagining Jesus there, and that she was aligning her mind with the Christ mind. Denials that our past or the messages we've gotten have any power over us, that God is the only presence and power, and that power is always for good. She used, of course, prayer, as I said, and meditation. And Myrtle made the connection that the more we meditate, the more intuitive we become. And so she and Charlie became very intuitive. So if you want any benefit from meditation, not only does it reduce stress, but makes you much more intuitive because you're tuned in at a spiritual level, not just what you can see. She also used the idea or the spiritual practice of forgiveness. That was important to her, forgiving her body for what she believed about it. So Myrtle gave this gift to Unity of always giving people practical ideas. She wrote letters in response to people requesting prayer and help, and her letters would sometimes be 2, 3, 4 pages long. And she wrote, as I looked at all the number of letters she wrote throughout her ministry from the time they started Unity in 1890, she was writing on the average of 10 to 15 letters a week. And by the way, she wrote in purple ink because she said that was the color of spirit, the color of royalty, and purple is a very sacred color. So go get your purple pens. No. I always think of it when I see something purple, I think of Myrtle. I want to share a couple of things about her personality, though, and some of her life experience. I want to share about her sense of humor, her heartache in her life, and also her spirit and her energy. So this is from the book Myrtle Fillmore, Lighting the Way by Neil Valley. He's written 2 books on Myrtle. The first one was good. This one's even better. And it really talks about not only Myrtle, but Charles and the whole unity movement. But this speaks to her humor. They had at their unity school at the time, this 1931, they had they would do picnics and plays and things outdoors. They had a theater, outdoor theater. So Myrtle was well liked by workers at Unity School. At age 86, she was honored at a May Day picnic for workers at Unity Farm in June of 1931. And she later wrote a friend about it. Here's what she said. I was chosen Queen of the May and was before the floodlights for a while. And now I wouldn't be surprised to receive an offer from Hollywood. I just love this. Mr. Ingram, who crowned me, said in a speech that after considering all the candidates for Queen, they unanimously decided to choose the youngest and fairest and the most loved. And so I was chosen. It was very sweet and lovely for the workers to pay me such a tribute, and I certainly appreciated the spirit of it. I thought that was cute, how she said, well, now I'm ready for Hollywood. But she would infuse that humor and joy into her daily life and with her workers. The heartache in Myrtle's life was the death of her youngest son, Royal, at the young age of 25 years old. And Royal had some health problems. He was diabetic. He had high blood pressure. He had some health issues he was dealing with, he was seeking healing for that, but he died very unexpectedly at 25 years old. And some people say that the real reason for his passing was he was married to a woman named Frances. She gave birth to their little girl, also named Frances, and she passed away after childbirth. And they said he never really got over that loss. So it may have been a combination of things for him. But of course, nobody would want that horrendous experience. One of the most difficult experiences a parent can go through is to lose a child. But Myrtle had such a deep faith that she continued her practices and her prayer, and she dug deep and continued to move on. And she continued to put these practices in place through one of the most difficult things in her life. And I want to close with something about her spirit that speaks to her spirit. At Unity Village, and some of you have been there. Who's been to Unity Village? Raise your hand. There's what was called the administration building. It's a really tall building, and it has a circular staircase, and it goes on forever, and especially when you're walking up. But it's an unusual staircase. And here's what she said about her many hours of work and her love of Unity and the work she was doing. At age 83, she was still able to climb stairs and be active well into the night. She wrote in one of her letters, "We climb up and down 6 flights of winding stairs several times a day, working all day and several times a week far into the evening, and going to bed happy and eager for the next day." 83 years old, we have no excuses. But I just thought I wanted to honor our spiritual mother, and some of you know her story and the events of her life. But she was like us. She went through her joys, her sorrows, her ups and downs. But she was a beautiful woman of faith and humor and joy. And we are gathered here today because of Charles and Myrtle. God bless you. All right, it's time for our offering. And let's move into a consciousness of the Christ light that is abundance, never lack. And we see this abundance, for example, in nature. There is no lack in nature, one of our greatest teachers of abundance. So as we hold a consciousness of gratitude and seeing the tremendous good and tremendous blessings in our lives, we take a moment to bless all that is, to bless and give thanks for our mothers who got us onto the planet, and to bless the offering we are about to give, whether we are holding it in our hands, in our hearts, or in our consciousness. We are a channel for this abundance. And so together we share our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give it love, and I receive love. Thank you, God.
I now choose God, I now choose love, I choose to give. I give my heart, I give my life, I give my all to you. I now choose God, I now choose love, I choose to give. I give my heart, I give my life, I give my all to you. I give my all to you. I give my all to you.
And I invite you to join with me as we bless these tithes and love offerings with deep gratitude. We know that God gives to us just as a mother and a father would give to their children, holding no good back, lavishing the blessings on us. And so we recognize that, and as we share of the good that we have, we are able to do even greater together. We bless these tithes, knowing that they go out into the world doing good we may never know of, and blessing those we may never see. But we also know that as we give, it comes back to us multiplied, pressed down and shaken together and overflowing, so that we can give and serve in even greater ways. We bless this offering with love. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning. Just a few announcements today. Upcoming meeting, Unity Prayer Chaplains meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. Unity Men's Group meets this Saturday at noon. And the Board of Trustees and the Building Our Dream Team meet next Sunday, May 19th at 11:45. All are at the property. Spiritual study schedule. The Unity Book Club will meet this Thursday, May 16th at the property, weather permitting, from 10 a.m. to noon. In case of inclement weather, they will continue to meet at Joanne Chirilla's home. How to Change Family Dynamics is Tuesday, May 21st from 5:30 to 7. Sign-up sheets are available at the welcome table. Spring planting. We will begin spring cleanup and planting at the property tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. All welcome to join us for any length of time you are available. Whether you are planting at home or would like to donate flowers for planting on the property, $17 Sandstrip flower vouchers can be purchased through the beginning of June at the welcome table. We are here to pray with you. Our Unity Prayer Chaplains available to pray with you after service today are myself, Debbie Ryan, and Olivia Mitchell. I think that's it. You may also call the church office during the week for individual prayer or to arrange to receive prayer calls. Family Fall Fest update. Makes my heart happy. We are excited. Plans are underway for this year's October 5th event. We are again looking to our community to assist us in making this year's fest an even bigger success than last year. We will begin by asking for raffle basket donations again, but earlier this year. There is a sign-up sheet for ministry teams or groups of individuals to commit to a basket theme and completing it by the end of July. We are hoping to surpass last year's profit of $1,415 by having additional time to market the beautiful baskets that you all create with such generosity. Thank you, Unity Community, for all you are and all you do, always. God bless you. And an exciting addition to the announcements is Blair.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good to see you all here this morning. I am very excited to announce a couple of concerts that I'm going to be involved in. I this last January joined the South Holland Master Chorale. There are two concerts coming up. One is this next Sunday, and one is 2 weeks from this Sunday. And they're fairly local here at All Souls Parish in Lansing and St. John the Evangelist in St. John. That makes sense, right? St. John. At any rate, I'm really proud of this choir that I've gotten involved with. I've been in a lot of community choirs over my lifetime, and this is probably the best choir that I've ever been in. And for that alone, I would love to have you come and enjoy the quality of music that this choir performs. But some beautiful music as well is going to be sung. It's classical music, some contemporary, but mostly from the classic writers, Haydn, and it's a Mass for Troubled Times that they're going to be performing. And that particular piece is extremely powerful. They're both really powerful, but I just really want to invite you to do that. This copy of this is over on the table, so I'd love to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blair. Is it the same concert at two different locations? Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that with us. The children are coming in. I just want to remind you, if you do buy a Zanstra's voucher that you're donating to the church, we can still run over there, not today, they're closed today, and pick up some flowers. And we appreciate everybody who has donated those Zanstra vouchers. All right. Let's stand and bless our children, and we're blessing all children all over the world. How pretty. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. As a child of God, we pray you'll always shine bright. We affirm you'll be guided by your inner light. We pray that your laughter will never cease, and in your heart will be filled with inner peace. We pray you discover the wonder of who you are, and that your infinite spirit spreads near and far. For all these things you are here to be and do, we celebrate God's love, expressing as you.
of God surrounds us, high and wide. The love of God enfolds us, high and above. The power of God protects us,